Hi, guys. This is Dr. Carrera from Gloved Up and Scrubbed In. Happy Friday. I'm here today because I wanted to move forward. We talked about mental health, emotional health, and how important that is to get your mind right before we can get our body right. And today, now we're going to focus on building strength and resilience with our muscle skeletal system with the F.A.C.E.I.T protocol and how important it is to have healthy aging. So, where do we begin? When I was doing my research for this, I came across Dr. Vonda Wright. She is an orthopedic surgeon. She is female. There's only 4% in the United States. She had a very impactful view and really moved me. So she said, we don't have to get old because we age. We get old because we stop moving. And of course, it's like common sense. But the way she puts it, she came up with the FACE protocol and I added the IT at the end. And that'll kind of all come together as we go through the webinar. So very important. She discussed going over aging in the US, and the importance is aging is within your control. It has to be an investment for your future. Movement, especially in the lower body, this will build strength and it predicts your health span. So how do you think about aging and why should you care? So the main thing is your bone. This is the master communicator. And it's funny because it is coming upon Halloween. You're going to see lots of skeletons around. So you may start thinking about your bones different. And every time you see those skeletons, do you care about getting old? Do you just want to get strong? Well, how about we combine both of those and start caring about getting old and building up our strength and our bones, our muscles? Movement equals medicine. So the anti-frailty protocol is the F.A.C.E.I.T, F.A.C.E.I.T. We will go through each one of those and what those mean, and understanding that you can reverse cells to move so that they're in a more youthful state. Why should you care? So I'm going to go through a little bit with the bone versus muscle versus fat or the adipose tissue. So number one thing, bone. Bone is the master communicator. What does this mean? When stimulating bone, so strength against resistance. If you're using bands, if you're using weights, we release a hormone that's called osteocalcin. It affects your muscle growth and your sustainability. So how does that work? So when you move, we have osteoblasts that produce this osteocalcin, right? That's regenerating the bone. And this osteocalcin will go to the muscle. It'll cause glycolysis, which releases energy. It also goes to the pancreas. And men, listen up, it goes to the testes. So if you feel like you have low libido, your testosterone's low, you have to get moving. You have to use weights. Women, osteopenia, osteoporosis, your testosterone, this will bring it up. You have to get moving. No libido, get moving. It improves glucose regulation. This is the osteocalcin. It's key. It builds muscle. It reduces fat and it strengthens joint stability. So important, guys. So what do? Well, I'm talking about moving. I know a lot of you say, okay, I feel that I've earned the right to sit and relax. I'm older. I've worked all my life, moving around. This is not the time to do it. Just like investing in your 401k and having that bank of money at the end of your years, you want to do that with your bone strength and your health. Take sedentary living out of the equation of aging. In activity, people, you can maintain muscle mass, bone mass, and longevity proteins. These are so important to stay active and to preserve your bone and your muscle. So movement is the antidote. So bone's just not the structure, it's the messenger. You can see here from young until you get older, it stimulates brain-derived neurotrophic factor. That's BDNF. That's an acronym. It's a big word. What does it mean? It builds new neurons in your brain. It also protects against Alzheimer's. So we have to understand the link, the correlation between this. Osteocalcin, it's a non-collagenous protein. And again, like I said, it's secreted by the osteoblasts. Osteoblasts are the bone-forming cells. These osteocalcins cross over the blood-brain barrier, and not everything does. There's medicines and supplements that do not cross over the blood-brain barrier, and you think you're getting, your neurons regenerate it. Osteocalcin does. It acts directly on the hippocampus. So this is where your memory and your learning happens. It reduces anxiety and depression. So it modulates these neurotransmitters, your serotonin, so on and so forth, and protects from Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So when you guys are working out, think, okay, you know what? This is not only building muscle, this is building my cognitive capacity. It's keeping my neurons from disintegrating, and it's reducing the chance for dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. Inactivity contributes to 33% of chronic diseases. So as we get older, unfortunately, these come up. Inflammation, mobility, diet, exercise, all of this matters. If you're active, you will keep this youthful muscle tone. And with the studies, it's showing that patients in their 70s to 100s will look like they have 40-year-old muscular level on an MRI. So if you're between the age of 35 and 45, this is the key time for you building a lasting habit and for producing those osteocalcin. Again, men, osteocalcin with weight training, it goes to the testes. It'll help produce that testosterone. Just working out in general. If you have adipose tissue, the belly, the tire around the stomach, this holds on to more estrogen, and then your ratio gets off. The testosterone kind of goes in the toilet because the estrogen is so high. So to reduce that, you've got to move, you've got to work out, you've got to reduce that estrogen, and you have to improve and increase the osteocalcin. You don't always have to go to the gym. So I know this is a big complaint amongst just the public or even my patients. They're like, I don't want to be in the gym. I want to be outside. I can't go into the gym. It's not my thing. Hiking is one of the most powerful ways to support bone. It supports bone, supports muscle, supports brain health. You're outside with nature. It renews you, both spirit, mind, body, soul. And the number one thing from in the beginning, it builds lower body strength. And that's going to be your most to improve balance and joint stability. And again, my main factor is it stimulates bone growth. And this is fantastic for reducing stress and boosts your mood. All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to tell you how to do it. And it's easy with this acronym FACE-IT, F-A-C-E-I-T. And this is your anti-frailty protocol. So what does the F stand for? That's flexibility and mobility. So you want to move through and stretch with the flexibility mobility. So that can be around your house, doing the pool work, tending to the garden, right? Do some dynamic stretching going through that. You can do yoga classes. This is your joint insurance. You guys need to stretch. I had the squat challenge, Dr. Carrera squat challenge that you were to do throughout the day. This is fantastic. You can do that all day long. Stretch out. Maybe spread your legs a little wider. Do some stretches that way. Do some back lunges. Get on the floor. Lay on your belly. Turn to one side. Stretch those shoulders out. So important. They even have stretch classes for you at the wellness center. It's fantastic. Next one is A. This is aerobic engine. This is to build your mitochondria. Mitochondria are the little engines in your cells, very important for you to run your car. So just think of it that way. So you need to do your normal cardiovascular walking, if you like to do the treadmill or to get outside, if you like to row, walk, bike, that's fine. But the importance of this is you need to do sprint bursts. What does that mean? So for 30 seconds, I want you to run all out as fast as you can, or row as hard as you can, or bike as fast as you can. You want to do that for about 4 reps. Try and get your heart rate all the way up to 180. I know that sounds high, but get it up there for 30 seconds and then take a 3-minute kind of cool down at a normal, just walk or slow row or slow bike to get your heart rate back down. So you're going to do 4 reps of that, and you want to do that at least twice a week. So optimal is 3 hours of cardio. You can break it up however you want during the week, and that's your casual walking, biking, rowing. And then at least twice a week, you need to do those sprints. Why is it important? Again, it stimulates muscle growth with the short and long fibers of the muscle. It also builds the mitochondrial resilience, and it helps with your heart for the cardiovascular grit. The C, what does the C stand for? That's carry a load. So unconsciously, we are always carrying the load. Think about it. When you go grocery shopping, you're trying to get the water out, the 24-pack of water. You have the iced teas in there. You have bags that are overloaded with cans. You're picking up your toddler or you're picking up your grand toddler, right? So there's something there in your mind that you disconnect and say, oh, I can't pick up a heavy weight, but you're doing it all the time. So get yourself a kettlebell or a dumbbell that's at least 10 pounds and hold on to that in the center of your chest and then slowly just let it fall to the ground and squat. That's fantastic for you for stretching. So you can use this for both for stretching. Now pick it up and walk across the room. If you don't have any weights and you have a couple gallons of water, put one in each hand and just go for a walk up and down your driveway or around your block. That's a way to start it. Contracting muscle releases clotho. Clotho is your longevity peptide. This is major for your muscles. And think about women, men, you don't like to have the back fat or the little bit of fat hanging over. What is that? The tire coming over your pants. Well, when you build muscle, guys, this expands all that out, especially cellulite, and that becomes your Spanx. That's your natural Spanx. That's your natural spandex. And it also is your natural Kim Kardashian, whatever her line is, I forget. But you don't have to buy that. It's your shock absorber. It's your hormone amplifier and your metabolic ally. So you want to do the farmer's carry and you want to lift heavy. So when you're doing your bicep curls, try and go the max weight that you can hold and you can do well with keeping your form. And you don't have to do a lot of reps. So 4 to 6 reps. This is important. Instead of doing 15 reps, that means 15 times for our older folks that don't know what a rep is, just lifting it up 15 times in a row. I want you to be able to only do it 4 to 6 times without hurting yourself. So don't make it so heavy that you hurt yourself. Guys, a lot of you know how to work out and know that what your max is and know that, okay, if I go a little bit heavier, I'm going to hurt myself. Get to the point where you can do 4 to 6 reps and at your max, and that'll be great. So that could be lunges with it. That could be overhead press. That could be deadlift. And also that could be bench press. So these are very important. The E in the F.A.C.E.I.T protocol, this is equilibrium. So balance is brain health. How do they correlate, right? When you are older, and you will see this a lot with grandparents and just the elderly, they're walking with walkers. They kind of walk to the side. Neurologically, some of you maybe had some compromise with a mini stroke, like a TIA, your balance is off, or you've had a stroke, or just in general, you want to prevent that from happening so that osteocalcin goes to the brain with the neurons, keeps them intact, keeps you sharp. So if you step on your grandkids or your toddler's Lego, you're able to jump off that foot onto the other foot and not fall over and break a hip. So how do we start this? If you've never done any equilibrium type of exercises, if you haven't jumped rope, if you haven't hopscotch, or if you feel like I just can't do that right now, I'm too heavy, then brush your teeth on one foot. That's right. So just stand there in the morning and balance on one foot while you're brushing your teeth, not one tooth, your teeth. And then you want to the next day switch the foot and start doing that little by little. In your kitchen, if you have tile, you can jump, you can hop back and forth over the tile line. Start doing that. Prevent falls. This will preserve independence and protect cognition. It does it all. It keeps you sharp. What does the I stand for in the F.A.C.E.I.T protocol? It's intercellular intelligence. Well, that's a big word. Those are 2 big words. So what does that mean? It's peptides. Bone is a hormone powerhouse. Osteocalcin is our number 1, and that comes from strength against resistance. It builds the brain, It regulates metabolism. It supports testosterone. It's building us muscle. But what about a little extra help? As we get older, peptides are the key. So older meaning you could start in your 20s. It is fantastic. We can go through some of these. The NAD peptide, this supports energy and cognitive ability, makes you very sharp, cellular repair. It repairs the mitochondria in your cells. That's the engine. There's Samorlin and Ipamorelin. CJC 1295 has Ipamorelin. This promotes muscle growth. It taps on the pituitary gland to say, hey, can you release a little bit more growth hormone? So a lot of our GLP-1 patients that have lost all their weight, they feel their muscle tone is not the greatest. And I highly encourage doing the Samorlin and the NAD. The two of those combined are fantastic. But this will promote them building back their muscle along with working out at least 3 times a week and eating tons of protein. Again, I didn't mention this, but this is very important from the beginning of these slides. You have to have protein intake. So protein usually is 1 gram per pound per your body weight a day. And that could come from any source that is animal based. For our vegetarians, it's really hard for you guys to get in your protein. I understand this, but that's not my concern. My concern is you're eating so much carbs and you will only, if you're active, you're only going to burn about 40 grams of carbs every 2 hours. So put that in your calculations when you're eating how many carbs you can get. If you can eat fish, that's fantastic. If maybe you want to put a little bit of egg in there, maybe some hard-boiled eggs, just think about your overall preservation of your bones, because this is number one. I would say 99.9% of my patients that are vegetarian, they are anemic and they have to be on a supplement for that. So also think about what it's doing to your bone. You're not getting exactly the nutrients you need that comes from animal protein. So I know this could be a touchy subject because it can be either cultural or it can just be spiritual, religious, or just your personal thing. But as we go through this webinar, I'm hoping you'll learn something and to think about, okay, I got to figure out a way to keep my osteocalcin and my bones from staying strong. Movement definitely is it. There's the peptides too, but I highly encourage some animal protein. Okay, BPC 157 TB4 fragment. This is fantastic. Joe Rogan talks about this. Dr. Huberman talks about this. There's so many very well-known people. The BPC 157 TB4 fragment, they support muscle. They repair and reduce inflammation and work on breaking down scar tissue, or even if you have an immediate injury or wound, this will help heal. Again, it's a peptide, natural. So you're not putting anything foreign in your body. And we have low dose naltrexone. That's for autoimmune and chronic conditions like RA, Crohn's, Parkinson's, and chronic fatigue. That will bring down the inflammation. It's fantastic. So the T in the phase protocol, that's therapeutic activation. So that's all the peptides we're talking about. That's the resistance training, the lifestyle shifts. We want it at a cellular level, right? So I understand that some of us have injuries, really bad shoulders. We're trying to avoid surgery with our knees. There is the platelet-rich plasma. That's the PRP. There is stem cell. Later on, with my next podcast, I'm going to be speaking with a physician and very knowledgeable practices, does all these. So we will be able to get more into that. But again, this will be an option to hopefully to avoid surgery and to actually use your own body's immune system and cells to regenerate and heal you. So again, movement equals medicine. Think about when you're out socially, if you're at the beach, instead of sitting and drinking, go out and play volleyball, move a little bit. Instead of staying out all night and partying for our younger ones, think about taking a Zumba class, a yoga class, some types of exercise class. Move that way. Get up early. First of all, go to bed early. That's your sleep is vital for bone and muscle and tissue repair. So get to bed early. That's the new fad right now. Go to bed early. You want to get up early, have yourself a routine, get outside, feel the sun on you, even if it's for 15, 20 minutes a day. You need that vitamin D, and it's just great mental health. There's trails. You don't always have to be in a gym. Find a trail. I know if you live in Florida, there's not many hills, but all my other states that I'm licensed in, my patients are from, in Wyoming and Montana and Colorado, in Hawaii, all these, that there's hills, there's mountains. Go up and down them, find something. And if you like the gym, I like the gym, go to the gym. Ask your friends to go. Start making friends there. Make it a community effort. Go to CrossFit. CrossFit hits every single one of these, the F.A.C.E.I.T. It's fantastic. Again, flexibility, mobility. You want to 3 hours at least a week, get in your cardio. Okay. You can start off with body weight exercises. You want to do 11 push-ups. There's that carried load. You can, start off with a lighter weight, but try and get up to where you can only do 4 to 6 reps. And this again can be with squats. This can be with bench press. Do your dumbbells, do your bicep curls. And then very important is the equilibrium, your daily balance. Do some yoga, some Pilates, brush your teeth on one foot. I want to see that. Send me a picture. I would love it. I think that's going to be my new thing. And we did the squat challenge. Now we're going to do the challenge of brushing your teeth on one foot. That'll be fun. Send me some pictures. Send me some videos. I appreciate you guys joining me today. I hope this educated you. Muscle skeletal. Your skeletal system is so, so important. And it works on so many things. Your brain, just the stability of your joints. It'll send that osteocalcin to your muscles. You've got to move. Keep moving, guys. I would love to hear from you. If you would like a consultation to go forward with peptides, or just in general, for if you need refill on your medications, your routine medications, you can reach out to me at yourvipdoctor.com. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Okay. So we've been heading back up the last 30 minutes, and there's tons of people coming on this trail. It's a hard trail that are wearing flip-flops.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
They have no idea what they're in for.